have not been reading as much as I've wanted to, but I've stumbled upon some books that I have now on my TBR list, and I am actually very excited to start reading them. But I just gotta kind of push myself to finish my next book, which is gonna take a while because it's like 600 pages. But I never really thought that I have a TBR list, even though it's kind of weird to say, but I never thought I'd have one because usually my process of things is like I find a book that I want to read, and then... So I'm sitting here editing this. Can we take a minute and small violin this and take a minute for my poor posture? That my 9-to-5 job has completely wrecked my back and posture. Oh, look at me now. Same thing. Oh my god. My posture throughout this whole video. Oh my god. Help. Help. Once I'm like halfway into the book or towards the end of the book, I'll find another book and I'm like, yep, that's the book I'm reading next. That's what we're doing. And that's the end of it. But for some reason, maybe it's because I'm not reading as much as I've been wanting to. All these books are coming up. I'm seeing book recommendations on TikTok. I'm seeing them on Instagram. I'm seeing them on Facebook, and or just coming up like randomly, or even there's like recommended ones when you open up the cover and I'm like, let me see. And I'm like, you know what, that's an author I've read before. Why don't I try to read it? So I just want to go through my TBR list and kind of give you a summary of each book. Even though I don't normally read the summaries, I just look at the title and I'm like, yep, I'm gonna read that one. So I already have my book set up next. Like I already know what book I'm gonna read next. It's not like, but past that, I have no idea. But I have a few on my TBR list. Not a million, because I feel like if I have too many, I'm gonna get way overwhelmed. But I have a few on my TBR list. And let me know if you guys have read any of these books and what you guys think of these, and if there's any books that I need to add to my TBR list. So let's go into my Goodreads because that's where I keep everything. Okay, so currently I have 7 books on my TBR list. Maybe that's not a lot, but to me that's a lot. Like, there's a lot I gotta get through. And some of them are like a series, but we'll get into it. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to read is How Does It Feel by Janae O'Reilly. And the only reason that I have this on my TBR list and I'm gonna read next is because somebody was freaking out about reading this book on TikTok, about how this book crushed them and how it was like the best book ever. And it could be fake, you know, but it has a 4.17 star on Goodreads. And I just feel like I need to read it. I'm also trying to branch out into other books, other genres, because why not? And other authors, because I feel like I'm stuck between like 2 or 3 authors and it's not good anymore. This is book 1 of the Infatuated Fae series, a forbidden obsession, unyielding family allegation, 3 deadly challenges. The human, when a trip into the forest to collect a rare... If I can read. When a trip into the forest to collect a rare mushroom goes horribly wrong, I find myself falling through a fairy portal and straight into the arms of an unforeseen Fae prince. Dangerously unhinged and handsome, unseelie Fae prince. What could be more horrible than that? He thinks I'm an assassin sent by the humans to kill him, not a biologist. Determined to kill me first and rid himself of the human he has unwillingly grown obsessed with, yet also needing to entertain his people, the villain challenges me to 3 deadly trials. If I survive, I gain my freedom, but if not, the Fae. I've never felt anything but hate and loathing until my eyes found hers, the vile human's assassin. She is a parasite that has mercilessly latched onto my mind and won't let me free. My hand itches to be ungloved and feel her smooth skin, even though I would never. The unseelie Fae royals would rather burn than touch a repulsive human. I fear that if I do not destroy the girl soon, she may be the only thing that's capable of truly destroying me. It sounds so weird. It's so fantasy, but that's funny. I just went down and it says, I just watched a girl's TikTok where I can't tell if she loved or hated this book, but her chaos piqued my interest. I think we're talking about the same girl, and same. So it sounds interesting. I didn't even read that until just now, so that's next. So next one is Don't Let Her Stay by Nicola Sanders. I think this is a thriller. I'm like neither here or there on thrillers. I kind of prefer mysteries, even though there's kind of a fine line. But I don't know, thrillers make me feel weird. I don't know what it is, but this one also has a 4.02 rating. Someone inside your house wants you dead, but no one believes you. Joanne knows how lucky she is. Richard is a wonderful husband. Evie is the most gorgeous baby girl. They live in a beautiful house. Life couldn't be better. Until Richard's 20-year-old daughter, Chloe, turns up. Chloe hasn't spoken to her father since the day he married Joanne 2 years ago, but Chloe wants to make peace. She'll even move in for a few weeks to help Joanne with a new baby. It sounds perfect, but when things happen that make Joanne feel like she's losing her mind, she begins to wonder, is Chloe really here to help, or has Joanne made a terrible mistake by letting her move in? And is it too late to ask her to leave? Perfect for fans of Frida McFadden. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've read Frida McFadden, but it says there's a twist that will shock you. We'll see. I like Frida McFadden, but I also... The reason that I don't 100% like her books is I feel like she's writing for, like, her wording sometimes feels like a child. I don't know, but that's why I don't always love her books. But next is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, 3.85 stars. So, a woman searching for truth about her husband's disappearance at any cost. Before Owen Michaels disappeared, he managed to smuggle a note to his beloved wife of 1 year. Protect her. Despite her confusion and fear, Hannah Hall knows exactly to whom the note refers. Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. Bailey, who lost her mother tragically as a child. Bailey, who wants absolutely nothing to do with her new stepmother. As Hannah's increasingly desperate calls to Owen go unanswered, as the FBI arrests Owen's boss, as a U.S. Marshal and FBI agents arrive at her Sausalito home unannounced, Hannah quickly realizes her husband isn't who he said he was, and that Bailey just may hold the key to finding out Owen's true identity and why he really disappeared. Hannah and Bailey set out to discover the truth together, but as they start putting together the pieces of Owen's past, they soon realize they are also building a new future, one neither Hannah nor Bailey could have anticipated. That one seems cool too. This one I think I like better than the last, Don't Let Her Stay. Next one is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, 4.24 stars. Celebrating her 45th birthday at her local pub, popular podcaster Alex Summers crosses paths with an unassuming woman called Josie Fair. Josie, it turns out, is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are in fact birthday twins. A few days later, Alex and Josie bump into each other again, this time outside Alex's children's school. Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast and thinks she might be an interesting subject for her series. She tells Alex, on the cusp of a great change in her life. Josie's life appears to be strange and complex, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep making the podcast. Slowly, she starts to realize that Josie has been hiding some very dark secrets, and before she knows it, Josie has inveigled her way into Alex's life and into her home. But as quickly as she arrived, Josie disappears. Only then does Alex discover that Josie has left a terrible and terrifying legacy in her wake, and that Alex has become the subject of her own true crime podcast, with her family and her friends' lives under moral threat. Who is Josie Fair, and what has she done? Oh, this sounds interesting too. I'm literally reading all this with you guys for the first time. So next is Leave the World Behind by Rumin Alam. It only has 3.18 stars, but a friend recommended this to me, so her description of it sounded really good. So let's see what their description is. A majestic novel about two families, strangers to each other, who are forced together on a long weekend gone terribly wrong. Amanda and Clay head to a remote corner of Long Island, expecting a quiet reprieve from life in New York City, quality time with their teenage son and daughter, and a taste of the good life in the luxurious home they rented for the week. But with a late night knock on the door, the spell is broken. Ruth and G.H., an older couple who claim to own the home, have arrived there in a panic. Their strangers say that a sudden power outage has swept the city, and with nowhere else to turn, they have come to the country in search of of shelter. With the TV and internet down and no phone service, the facts are unknowable. Should Amanda and Clay trust their couple, and vice versa? What has happened back in New York? Is the holiday home isolated from civilization, a truly safe place for their families? And are they safe from one another? You know, for a girl who says she's not really into thrillers, I feel like 90% of these are thrillers. Alright, they just sound good. We're gonna push through them. I'll probably have to throw in like some rom-coms in between there because yeah. And okay, so this last one is like a two-parter. Well, it's more than a two-parter, but I saw, when I was at Target, I saw Holly by Stephen King, and I don't know, I was really drawn to it, but it's a part of a giant series. So I'm planning to read the first part of that series, which is Stephen King's Mr. Mercedes, and kind of go on with it until I finally get to Holly, which will be annoying and forever, but I feel like I'm dedicated and I really want to try Stephen King books because I've never done it. So let's do the one I've been wanting to read, which is Holly, and then we'll go into Mr. Mercedes, which I will have to read because I can't just jump. I want to know what's going on. So Holly, 4.27 stars. Stephen King's Holly marks the triumphant return of beloved King character Holly Gibney. Readers have witnessed Holly's gradual transformation from a shy but also brave and ethical recluse in Mr. Mercedes to Bill Hodges' partner and finder keepers to a full-fledged smart and occasionally tough private detective in The Outsider. In King's new novel, Holly is on her own and up against a pair of unimaginably depraved and brilliantly disguised adversities. When Penny Doll calls the Finders Keepers detective agency hoping for help locating her missing daughter, Holly is reluctant to accept the case. Her partner, Pete, has COVID. Of course, her very complicated mother has just died, and Holly is meant to be on leave. But something in Penny Doll's desperate voice makes it impossible for Holly to turn her down. Mere blocks from where Bonnie Doll disappeared live Professor Rodney and Emily Harris. They are the picture of respectability, married octogenarians devoted to each other and semi-retired lifelong academics. But they are harboring an unholy secret in the basement of their well-kept, book-lined home, one that may be related to Bonnie's disappearance, and it will prove nearly impossible to discover what they are up to. They are savvy, they are patient, and they are ruthless. Holly must summon all her forbearant talents to outthink and outmaneuver the shockingly twisted professors in this chilling new masterpiece from Stephen King. Alright, what have we learned from me reading this is that I can't read big words. Alright, so that one is what I want to read, but let's go to Mr. Mercedes because that's what I have to read first. This one has 4 stars. We know Stephen King. I mean, I don't, but I will. So, okay. In the pre-dawn hours, in a distressed American city, hundreds of unemployed men and women line up for the opening of a job fair. They are tired and cold and desperate, emerging from the fog, invisible until it's too late. A lone driver plows through the crowd in a stolen Mercedes, running over the innocent, backing up and charging again. 8 people are killed, 15 are wounded. The killer escapes. Months later, an ex-cop named Bill Hodges, still haunted by the unsolved crime, contemplates unaliving himself. That's a better word. When he gets a crazed letter from the Perk claiming credit for the murders, Hodges wakes up from his depressed and vacant retirement, fearing another, even more diabolical attack and hell-bent on preventing it. Brady Hartfeld lives with his alcoholic mother in the house where he was born. He loved the feeling of death under the wheels of the Mercedes, and he wants that rush again. Only Bill Hodges, with a couple of eccentric and mismatched allies, can apprehend the killer before he strikes again. And they have no time to lose because Brady's next mission, if it succeeds, will kill or maim thousands. Mr. Mercedes is a war between good and evil from the master of suspense, whose insight into the minds of this obsessed, insane killer is chilling and unforgotten. Front flap. This one sounds intense. I don't know how I'm gonna get through it. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So those are the books that are currently on my TBR list, and hopefully I will have some more, but I have to get through these because there's just too many. And I think after reading these little like summaries, I kind of know which ones I want to read in what order. Honestly, the one that I have next that I was really excited about, I'm not as excited about it, but we'll get there. We're gonna push through it and we're gonna do it. So if you guys have any recommendations for me or which books you think I should read next, please let me know, because I want to grow this list and just have like hundreds of books on my TBR list because I'm super excited about it. Or even books that you would recommend that have nothing to do with this. I'm really looking for mystery books and maybe some romantic books too, because I'm gonna have to, after reading through these summaries, I'm like, no, I'm really gonna need like some romance in this, because I need something heartfelt because I'm gonna be like in turmoil. So yes, let me know. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like, subscribe down below, leave a comment, of course, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!